For my old college radio DJ name. I have on with me a superstar writing guru by the name of Gmux, who recently attended Steam Fest, and he's one of the founders of the Writer's Block. It is an absolute pleasure to have him on. Gmux, how you doing this evening?
Oh, very well. Thank you for the build up there.
Sure. No, it's easy to do. Gmux, you right before you hopped on, you said you wanted to go have a little chit chat about some flagging business, and I thought
Yeah.
that we should. That's a conversation. Parts of flagging I actually think are really, really, really good for the ecosystem, and parts of flagging I think are really, really freaking bad. So
Yeah.
I think you're here
Um
for the bad part.
yeah, I'm of the same mind. There is good flagging, obviously. But what I've seen today, it just strikes me as slightly ridiculous on a platform that appears to want to encourage original content.
So what did you see or what happened? I'm a little bit out of the loop because, as I mentioned, I was at Friendsgiving
Oh, c-
today, and
can I can I just drop a link into
yeah, of
chat?
course, of course.
Right, it's on.
So this is Bernie's flag report.
Yeah, it's actually in the replies to Bernie's flag report. Transisto has joined in and has started flagging,
Uh,
but
what is he?
the bit
What is he flagging about?
well, one of the authors that he's flagging is Michelle Gent. She's a prolific writer. Um, I actually met her at Steamfest. She writes original content. She's producing her own novel. She publishes every chapter on Steam at first. She's bringing in new writers, new people onto the platform, and he seems to be disagreeing with being able to post a novel. He says page by page, but it's chapter by chapter.
Um, has it already been written? Are these like live blogs? Has it been published anywhere else? Is he just
No, no, this is all original content for Steam. It.
how long are they? Are they shitpost length or are they
Oh
like
God, no, no, they're proper chapters. Up to the limit that you can have on Steam. It.
can you slap a link to what's getting flagged in here?
Yeah, just give me a second.
And is it Bernie doing this or is it Transisto doing it?
This is Transistor.
So Bernie, let's see. It's hard to have the conversation and try to read. You were searching for a good reason they were flagged. You will not find one. Yeah, Lexi, that's exactly what I was doing. I mean, sometimes these things are actually relatively important um and I see sometimes people are going on sometimes people are going on and flagging because they disagree with the rewards. Oh, yeah, I know Michelle. I've seen her post before. Looks like a decent enough length. It seems like. Oh, so it looks like Transistor is just trying to counter some of the block trades vote.
Yeah, I think that's what's behind it, but it sends a really bad signal, I think, to uh, other writers and authors who look to people like Michelle, who've had such success on the platform, look to what she'd been able to accomplish, and they're now seeing her, being flagged.
Yeah, I mean, so a lot of the whales are talking about look, the problem isn't flagging, it's lack of flagging, and that we should all be running around flagging, and it's a good thing for the system because it does a better job of price discovery of what these posts should be worth. So, like, how big is that block trades vote? Is that some giant vote that's out there? Is that like a 50% or something?
Usually a post get to the 60-70 dollar mark, I think.
Um, I mean, my guess is that this is more of like whales battling each other over curation standards and goals rather than really having that much to do with Michelle or her post. This is like this is like
Yeah,
whale politics being played out on this post.
yeah, I see that. But unfortunately, people like Michelle then get caught in the crossfire, and it, like I said earlier, it gives a bad signal to other people.
Yeah, I mean this is I um man, it's tough. It's tough to respond because, like, people do have the right with their steam power to say, "Hey, I don't think it's worth that much, and I'm going to use a downvote." And a downvote's actually pretty expensive because it uses your same amount of voting power, but it actually doesn't allow you to get any curation. So instead of getting curation, he's saying, I feel so strongly about this not getting rewarded this much that I'm going to sit around and downvote it. And I don't really mean to let. Um, Transistor and I have gotten into it before. Like, you might remember El Mago and that whole thing. I mean,
Hmm.
I've had my flagon runnings with him, and he can be a bit prickly. Like, there's some some people on this platform, especially the rampant flaggers, are oftentimes a little prickly and tough to deal with. So I agree with you that this is not a good place to battle this out, but Transisto is using their right and his right to say, I don't think that this post is worth the $100 that it's currently at. I'm going to use my power to flag it. um, Disagreeing with the rewards is one of the reasons why somebody should flag a post. It's just a shame that it's like,
Oh yeah, sure, but there are so many other
like,
shit posts on Steam that
and
deserve to be downvoted
yeah, I mean
and flagged.
this doesn't look like a spot where I'd be like, you know what, these are really just whales circle jerking each other, and what a dipshit thing. My guess is that it probably was. It may not have even been Block Trades that actually does this. I heard that it's Block Trade's wife that likes to go on and sort of read the things that she likes and upvote and do some of the manual curation. I don't actually know if that's true or not, but that's just that was one of the things that I heard a couple months ago when I've gotten a couple block trades votes, and I'm not sure if it's from him or not, but I do think it might be from his wife. But I hear you. Like,
Yeah,
this isn't like this is the argument. This is the argument that I see in witness channels and things like that. That we have a right to flag. Flagging carries a lot of the stigma. We shouldn't be targeting people on their posts. People have different agreements about like what a value should be, and they use their steam power to do it. I mean, this is built into the block, and this is how it's technically supposed to work. It's just totally shitty when it's like, this actually looks like a pretty healthy post and a pretty good thing to support. I don't know why Transisto flagged this in particular, um, but you know, you can see that I'm not downvoting this. Like, I'm not flagging this. I don't think this would be something that I would flag, um, but it seems like something that you might have to try to take up with him.
yeah, I've tried. I did get a reply, but it's a cookie cutter reply that he's given to several people.
What
So,
what's the cookie cutter reply that he's posting? I know it's probably in that link, but I don't have it right here.
give me just a second to find it. Right. I asked um, as an admin for a writers group on Discord with some 250 members. I feel it's incumbent on me to seek some clarification. Is it serialized posts you have a problem with per se, or is it the frequency of them? For example, I've been writing my own sci-fi series for a while. When I post my next part, do I have a fear of it being flagged? And he replied, no, it's not serialization, it's about timeliness and popularity. Relatively few people will rush to read the novel just because it came out. Original novel writing will never be a good fit for Steam, which or I think I should say gains its value from ever-changing trending page based on 7-day voting window. If, on the other hand, you're a known book author with a user base and you publish your book chapters first on Steam or exclusively, then I think the promotion initiative is worth rewarding relative to the amount and quality of viewership brought to the platform. And then he goes on to pimp one of his own posts about promoting Steam it on Reddit.
Yeah, I mean, he and I disagree. Like, this isn't, you know, this isn't what I'd look at and be like, you know what, I'm gonna flag her, flag this. This is definitely what needs to be flagged. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But I understand what he's doing. He's saying that the he's got an investment. He is trying to protect his investment. The way that he is choosing to protect his investment is by flagging posts that are getting high values that he doesn't think ought to be there. So he's using his stake to go basically say, yes, this is worth something, but it is not worth that much. And so he is countering another whale's vote on it. And it makes it so that people get angry at him, and it makes it so that I imagine that Michelle is less inclined to post her next story. My guess is that she
Oh
probably.
yeah, she's not going to post anymore now. She's just basically going to shit post.
Well, I mean, that won't be a healthy response either, but um,
No, but I can see her points. I mean, she the amount of writing that she puts out on Steam it is quite frankly scary to think that someone could write that much that often, and for it to just be flagged because he doesn't agree with the value of it, I I, I don't think it's a healthy thing for the platform.
yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue what he should do with his stake. I mean, I can tell you that I would not be flagging this. I don't think that it makes sense to flag this. I haven't looked at the history of the rest of her posts, and I think it's a pretty strong statement to say don't go write a book here. I actually kind of think that's not a great suggestion or idea, but um,
Well,
transit.
yeah, because it totally puts into question what we're trying to do at the writer's block, and
Well,
the future plans going forward.
it's one person, and he's telling you that if you guys have success, he'll actually spend money to go promote you if you can actually get something into trending. So it's not like he's entirely against it. I mean, I think that you got to look past this and say, all right, let's see what happens within the next week. Just one, because keep also also keep in mind, like go make some posts about this flag and go make a story about it and go get lots of people to rally around you and use the like Steam for all these kinds of things has a whole shitload of unintended consequences. And if you guys just roll over and say, well, screw it, we're not going to write anymore, or she just says, fuck it, I'm just doing shit posts from now on, then you're missing a huge opportunity. You are in the middle of like a whale battle between block trades and Transisto. That's newsworthy. And if you guys can use that to go share a story about, hey, here's my experience, here's our response, can you guys rally around us and help this author and that sort of thing, then I think you could actually get far more out of it than the $30 or $40 that you lost. You might actually pick up a lot of viewership and a lot of authorship and unite your community around this. There are some good things that can happen because of this. On the surface, yeah, it's shitty that you're getting flagged, and if you politicize it somewhat and publicize it somewhat, it might actually be a great rallying call for you guys and another reason to join the writer's block and join together and work together and fight together so that your steam powers combined, or with our steam powers combined, we can fight this flagging. Like things like that. You can turn this into a win.
Yeah, yeah, you make a strong point. Obviously, a lot of minnows are going to be reluctant to, poke their head
Yeah, well, don't. I
above
mean,
the trenches,
this
but
is the thing. It's like do no harm but take no shit. the take no
Yeah, yeah.
shit part. So go ahead and go, like, if you start saying he's a fucking asshole and the worst human being and a blah blah blah, like, then you're on offense and you're the dickhead. But
Oh yeah, yeah, of
if you can
course.
state your stance and say, hey, this is just an author on Steam that got a good vote from somebody that read their work and thought it was worthwhile. Like, we want more of this, not less. I mean, again, be careful because you don't want to go on offense, but you can hold your ground and say, we don't accept this, we don't like this, and we need support around here to go counter things exactly like this. Join the writers block, join the writers union, and together collectively we can have a stronger, better Steam platform. And to hell with him, we can go have this place be a great place to go write our stories and turn them into books and eventually publish them. Like, who knows? If it works, then maybe this turns into something much bigger. And if you attack him, then maybe you have a whale that's sitting on your back, shitting on every post. So there's a way
Oh
to do
yeah,
this the
yeah, for
right way
sure.
and a way to do it the wrong way. But if you can do it the right way, then I think that you'll experience growth because of this. So that's my
Yeah,
encouragement. Like,
yeah.
it's not. I can't solve the problem for you, but hopefully I
Oh
can.
no, no, wasn't thinking that you would. I just wanted to put it out there and get some sort of discussion going
Yeah,
about this.
there's some whales I can talk to, man. There's some whales that would actually listen to me. I will strongly state, Transisto, I don't believe to be one of them. So I don't have a lot of pull
No,
there for you. Um,
no, that's fair enough. Yeah.
and he's not, like, again, I can understand from your perspective why this is totally uncool, and I can understand from his perspective of, look, I think that post is rewarded too heavily, and I don't want it to have that much money on that one post. I don't know what his reasons are, other than, like, something about books that I disagree with too. But I appreciate his ability to think whatever he wants and to go put his steam power the way that he wants it. So I respect his ability to do that. I think it's a bad call, but it's his steam and it's his power, and he gets to make choices for it. And if you turn this around the right way, then I think you'll actually get some benefit from it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going to put some thoughts into this and talk about this over at the block, I think.
Yeah, rally around it. Unite the clans around this flag, and let those unintended consequences of that action fly. Who knows? Maybe you'll go get 10 more books to start getting poured out into here as, like, we're writing protest books now, and flag them all. How much steam power you got? I mean, like, at some point you can win. It just, you might have to struggle a bit, but appreciate that struggle, because hopefully it'll bring more people to your cause.
Awesome. Well, thank you for
Yeah,
having me on.
sure, Gmux. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. I'm a big fan of the writer's block. Whatever I can do to help, and hopefully some of that perspective is handy. We'll see what comes of it. And I'll just one. I gotta say it one last time. It's do no harm, take no shit. And I would encourage you not to go on offense against him as a person. Talk about the behavior, talk about the action, less so about him as a human being, because then you'll
Yeah,
you'll get
yeah.
your own fair share of unintended consequences for that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you, Gmux. Gmux, I'm going to pull you off out of here. I'm going to put you back into there. We're going to keep moving along. I don't know how many people are going to want to hop on here, but you know what? I did. Let's just go with Cubby. Cubby, I hope you're ready. I'm pulling you in. You guys are still listening to MSP Waves Radio. I'm your host, Skanky J. This is it is the Minnow Mayor Town Hall. Yeah, I got. It's lovely to hear your voice. It's lovely to hear your energy. Cubby, I couldn't get through it. I couldn't do it.
Oh, you're gonna make it.
All right.
Hello, friends. Well, that was a Debbie Downer, now wasn't it? And I love me some G-Bucks.
Oh,
But it
man.
needed to be said, and I'm glad he shared it.
Yeah, no, look, everybody that catches a flag, but oh shit, you know what I should do? I should
Collect your thoughts.
No, I
Eat some
gotta
cake.
collect my thoughts, but I gotta go put something on here. Give me
All right.
Where?
I'll just chitter chatter. Don't mind me.
Yeah.
I'll just hang out for a bit while you go do your
I
thing.
got the best freaking thing. It's right here. So this is what I did when I got my flag. I got flagged by Bernie Sanders. So if you go look into the chat box, like I had that art
hilarious.
created. And I turned that into like one of my trifecta. I got a re-steam from Ned, I got an upvote from Dan, and I got a flag from Bernie Sanders. So like I put that out. I made $100 just on that one freaking post, and I said, "Hey, fucking A, I made it! I made it on this platform now." Like before, these whales don't give a shit about you. Like you're making $2 on a post, and they're not even looking. They don't care. But when I finally got to the point where I got flagged by Bernie, I was like, this totally blows, but yay me, I made it.
This is a milestone to be celebrated.
It's a milestone. I fucking made it.
Congratulations.
Bernie noticed me, and he noticed me, and he flagged me. And
you made it. Hashtag you've made it.
I was excited. I was like, this is a really shit moment in a lot of ways, but I fucking made
share
it.
This moment with you. I mean, it's a terrible milestone, but let's do it together.
Yeah. So look, so I'm not giving advice that I haven't personally done. I wrote a post. I wrote a post about I got flagged by Bernie Sanders, and it was like
it might be the time for you to rewrite that
Bernie
and
Sanders award
repost it.
Dinner Agro. Can I find this thing? My award. So here's another one. This is my satire line. I have this is like my speech that I gave. This is 6 months ago. So
and look at you now, a top 10 witness.
Yeah, so. I'm like honestly, it helped make me. His flag helped make me, which is like the most ironic thing you could think of, because the flag is like the shittiest thing that happened. But yeah.
And you talked about it yesterday with your co-host about when victims play the victim role and they almost immediately become vindictive in their reaction, instead of turning their complaint into a request. So let's circle back around to that and talk about how we can do that. And maybe their reaction or his response may not change, but how others come together and change that may be what they're looking for.
This platform's amazing. It's filled with unintended consequences. And if you understand how to leverage bad things that have happened to you into good things, it is strikingly fast how quickly you can be rewarded for that.
Something you said that I love is don't hate the game, hate the player.
Yeah, well, no, seriously, but it's totally true. This is like
until you learn to play the game, you will always hate. But until you learn how the game is played and you manipulate it to your own ways, you may not agree with it. But if you can get it to work in your favor, you will win milestones, and there'll be other people who agree with you along the way. So why not, instead of arguing against it, you change your perspective and start playing the game in ways that promote your ideas and your perspective and your prerogative in it all.
So I think at times I can be pretty good with the game, and this was one of my ways. I don't think I was even a witness at this point, but having Bernie as such a big character on this platform, having some of his attention help draw some to me. Transistors the same way. He can be a little prickly, but part of being a prickly whale is that everybody knows who you are. And if you're having interactions with him, you can really go catapult that into some trending page stories about the writer's block in this case. And that flag might be the single biggest incident in the history of that organization to help them grow. And yeah, it's this shitty thing, but if it's well handled, if you play the game well, then you can really leverage that into dragging off of his credibility, his whale status, his everything, and turning that into a much bigger thing. So.
And exactly. And, eventually people will agree with you, and, a team is far stronger than any single person. So why not do
I helped build the team. I agree with that.
And after that, you posted about de-escalation. And de-escalation looks different for every person, and not everyone can do it well. and with what it's intended to do, which is to take a negative situation and transform it into something that's positive. And even if it doesn't go well in your favor, for example, you made a joke out of it. He didn't remove his flag, but you got the attention. But you got the attention of people who can make a difference. You made $100 out of it. So really, who lost in this game?
And I
He was like the bad guy, and you won $100.
You know, I shoved that little cartoon of I got flagged by Bernie Sanders out there, and a lot of people that were in the woodwork that are out of the whatever brain not working. But
yeah, no, that's okay. Words are hard.
But I
think
rallied support. Other people who got flagged, other people that got flagged, they came out and they supported me, and other people that felt like, you know, hey, I got abused by that too. Like, I know I was getting high fives from other people and turning it into, you know, it's a funny thing. So
it is, and it worked, and that segues perfectly into what I wanted to talk about, which you encouraged me to do.
Good.
I know we did well. I tell you what, put us two on here, and magic happens.
Cubby, you are infectious. I came in all tired and cranky, and I got Cubby on round 2, and now I'm feeling jazzed.
We'll put your dukes up. We gonna fight tonight, but we gonna make it fun.
All right, we're gonna make it fun. I'll make it fun. I'll make it down. I'll be less of a sourpuss because you were here. All right, Cubby, tell me what you're on the show to talk about. What are we promoting today?
I'm on the show to talk about some very exciting news that happened to me that I could not believe it. So I randomly went to go upvote something, and I noticed that my upvote was worth almost a whole SBD, and I was like, wait a minute, that's never happened before. I was at 10 cents like 10 seconds ago, and I go and I check, and I had been given 10,000 SP from 2 individuals, and I sat there staring at my screen, and I almost fell to the ground, and then I realized I was a dolphin, and then I almost fainted again. So if you can imagine a pink balloon floating with excitement and then automatically just like exploding, that, my friends, was Cubby Elizabeth at its finest.
Well, that's awesome. So who delegated to you? Is this public knowledgeable? Because it's kind of a big deal.
I mean, it is. All I know is after the Steem Growth Forum, a couple of people had responded and said a couple of things, and then a really good friend of mine called Stella Bell randomly decided to delegate 5,000 SP to 3 individuals, and I was lucky enough to be one of that. And then she was talking to someone about if more whales invested in minnows who were active in the community and randomly gave them delegations to see what they did with it and see how they promoted the platform, then they would be doing a lot more good. And someone agreed with her and matched her delegation to all 3 of us.
Do you know who was
it was Full-Time Geek.
Yeah.
Full-Time Geek matched it, and Stella Bell had initiated. And not only that, if you check his page, he gave away almost 100,000 of his Steem powers to other individuals as well that he highly, highly believes in. I think it was 15, 30, and a couple of other 15s. To a couple other individuals. And he says, look, I'll be watching, and I'll be looking to see what you do with this that I gave, because Steem is very precious, and it's like precious gold. And he doesn't know me. He's never followed me until now. He has no idea who I am or what I do for the platform, but he believes in Stella Bell, and he believes that in the people that she trusts. And she randomly selected myself, Crimson Clad, who we all know and adore and obviously deserves it, and Inquiring Times. And it's so funny because before that, I had a conversation with someone who really frustrated me. And I was frustrated because they had over 250,000 Steem power delegated to them, and they were doing nothing with it. They weren't curating. They weren't posting any posts. They had no plans for it. And the more questions that I asked, the angrier I got because they weren't invested in the platform. I was like, so what are you doing with this? He had an excuse, or she had an excuse for everything as to why they weren't active on there. Oh, because I don't want it to be fluff, because it'll automatically go into Steams. I do here and that. It was just excuses. And I was so frustrated because I saw the need the platform needed. So many people are needing fundraising. So many people are needing to be promoted. So many undervalued posts go out. And I had undelegated at one point because I really wanted to build my Steem power. And my goal was to get to my personal to be 500, and every 100 after that to delegate back to the Minnow support. And when I got this delegation, it just felt like such a huge honor because I got somewhere where I had struggled 2 months to just make the first baby steps of. And so I delegated all the SP that I had gotten over that time. I'm using the delegation they had given me, and I'm going hardcore for as long as I have this for. I am going to go crazy. And the goal is not just to upvote all my friends and just to look for people that I interact with daily. The goal is the same from what it was before. I mean, I wanted to get to a level that I would go out there and everyone who didn't know MSP would learn about it. Anyone who didn't know about the radio would learn about it. Anyone who wanted to write and loved writing would learn about the workshop. As I mentioned during the Steam Growth, we all have similar goals in mind. We want to see the platform grow, and we want to see Steam It go to a sensible value. And the only way that we do it is by reinvesting in the platforms that are already working. So we're doing a great job, and we all have our niches that fit a specific need. So I want to make sure that it's all congruent, that we're all working together, that the people who already have these projects and implements in place continue to do so. And now I have the opportunity to do that. And I am so excited. People, you're looking at a new dolphin. She is stoked. I just won the lotto and I have a plan in place. I have an action. I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
And we're going to pinkify the world. It's going to be so pink. I'm so excited.
This is awesome, Covey. Covey, you are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I am so thrilled. This is fantastic.
Yeah. I just feel like, when you start working really hard and you don't think anyone notices, and it's not like Stella Bell and I talk all the time. She had asked me to be on a project and she kind of put it off to the side, and we haven't talked in months. And she went on the radio show. She heard what I had to say. And then she just like randomly delegated. She didn't say anything. She didn't respond to my thank you or nothing. She really just did it because she thought that us three were worth it. And she's like, let's see what happens. Let's throw a Minnow a bone and see what they run with it.
Yeah,
Home Slice does not know what she has done. She has done great things.
I think we have some other great minnows in here, but those are three phenomenal choices. I mean,
yeah, I'm super stoked.
You are working your tushy off and running around, and I see it. I see it with the, you're forming a committee and getting people out there, and I see it on the block, and I see it in our Discord channel. I mean, and I just see it on your energy. I see it with, you give all these donations to MSP Waves. I mean, you're all over the place, and not in the like, oh, she's scattered. It's more like, holy shit, this girl is doing a ton. So I just feel like, I've supported you basically since you started just saying hi on my post, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is, but she seems to have a lot of energy, and I was right. And I'm blessed to have you here. This is a no-brainer. Crimson Clad is a no-brainer. Like, talk about work ethic. That lady is freaking talented, fun, charming, and just
brilliant, just absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
If you had to think of someone who understands coding, who understands the platform, who invests in the platform, who's an active witness, who creates tools, who's partnered with some of the top projects involved and wants to do more, gives
just
endlessly
never
on time and effort.
Never freaking stops. That lady.
And if you ever talk
amazing.
to her, she never talks about herself. She never talks about what she's doing. She always talks about what others are doing, how awesome everyone else is, and metal, which will scare you, but you'll love her through it. And it's awesome.
Inquiring Times is a great choice too. I mean, I know that he's got his server and he's trying to make it so that
he spends a lot of time with undervalued new beginners.
Yeah.
And so he's one that it's hard to see because he's with people who literally have yet to post their first post.
Yeah.
And he's working with them side by side to work on formatting, learning the platform.
He's awesome.
And he's scattered everywhere too. So it's an honor. I can't believe I was selected. Lexicon, I'm glad that you guys have this organized, that I wasn't just picked out of a hat, even though that would be cool too. But I'm excited to be selected. And I wrote a post once because I had won some whale share from a friend who nominated me and I had won. And I said, what would you do if you became an instant millionaire? Because we all have like, oh, I would buy this, I would do that. But seriously, if you had a plan in place so that one day if you were in my shoes and you could implement it, what would that look like? Because you never know. You may wake up one day and have 10,000 steam power at your disposal.
Well, go make sure that take some of that energy. Please put out a post about it, and
I will tomorrow.
Tell the story and sort of share. I think this stuff is best done with transparency. So if you can talk about what you're going to do with it, and just your plan is excellent. I think a lot of people stand behind you, and who knows, you might even catch some extra delegation because it's freaking needed. Help.
Yeah.
Some of the whales get cranky with me and they're like, why are you got a spam bot? You're supporting every single fucking post that's out there. Who knows about the quality, the character, whatever. And it's like, I'm giving 20, 30 cents out through a community post to go help some minnows like start earning something. And yeah, when they first start on their platform, like, it's not like their content is usually written that well. If I look at my first post was freaking formatted badly, wasn't even like a good length. Like, I didn't do any of the right shit. And that's part of being a minnow. And what I'm trying to do is just keep folks here. And if your dollar vote is enough to keep somebody here, to get over that learning curve, to go take the value that they bring as a person and actually learn how to translate it into value on the platform, and we could bridge that gap with these little incentives, then it was freaking worth it. And the whales, I don't always think gets that, or they get confused or don't see how that works, but that's okay. I just keep doing this day in and day out and work with a team of people that get it. And, eventually we'll win, because what we're doing is absolutely essential to this platform. And it's an honor to serve in that role.
It's like you say, once you get to a certain position where you're helping so many will ask you to do one thing. And at the same time, so many will ask you to do the exact opposite, and navigating those waters is the hardest thing. And, some people, I have no idea how long this will stay. I don't know if this is a 1 week thing. I don't know if it's a month. I don't know if they'll give me more. I would love to have 1 million SP delegated to me. And I'm sure everyone would love to do that, but I'm strategic. I have a plan for every milestone that I make on what I want to do with it. And it looks different with each one. And so I don't know how long I'll have it. Maybe they'll take it away after a while. But I'm going to make the most of it while I have it. And that's all I wanted to talk about. Encourage you guys, stick with it. Anything's possible. If it happened to me, it could definitely happen to you. And let me know if you want to be pink, because I got you.
Oh, Cubby, I'm proud of you. I adore you. I love you. I'm glad you're here. And you're awesome, Cubby. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And with that, I'm kicking you off the show.
Deuces.
All right. We'll talk soon. Thank you, Cubby. Alrighty, so what am I gonna do next? I got Stacy coming on, Stacy Jean. I'm gonna play a quick song, and then I'm gonna bring Stacy on, and this way I can put at least one quick pause in my recording.